when we first got married, we bought a bedroom set, and these nightstands are part of that set. I'm gonna be changing the hardware, cutting the base, making it a little bit more modern looking for today's home. So we're gonna be refinishing them today and selling them to make some extra cash.
We actually bought these nightstands from a big box store about 25 years ago. I remember we were just a pair of newlyweds that weren't looking for anything fancy, just a set that was made out of solid wood. These are made out of pine, and even though it gets a bad reputation, as you can see, they're still structurally in amazing shape. Just some normal discoloration on the tops, but that's it. With the finish that I have in mind today, these nightstands would probably retail for several $100s each in stores right now with the updated look. And that's exactly why refinishing pieces like these is so worth it. These were not falling apart. The finish was just outdated and really orange tone. And honestly, that's one of the biggest mistakes people make when they're getting rid of furniture. They see an outdated color, but today we're looking at the potential. And that's why furniture refinishing can genuinely become a side hustle or business. You don't always need expensive inventory. You just need vision. After wiping the surface and removing the old decorative pins and hardware, I started sanding with 120 grit, but realized that furniture polishes that I used before I knew better left a film that was gumming up my sanding sheet, so I used a cleaner that was more effective, like Simple Green. This is the part where most people give up because sanding is the least glamorous part, but so far the bare wood I'm starting to see is looking beautiful. And when pine is refinished correctly, it can look warm, modern, organic, and even high-end. As usual, I'm sanding following the wood grain, avoiding or minimizing the chances of leaving any marks. It's important to keep an eye making sure that the sander doesn't leave any swirl marks, or sometimes they look like tiny pigtails. If you see those, do another round of sanding using a higher grit or finer grit, like 150 or 180.
In order to sell the nightstands quickly, I need to make sure that they look updated. So I'm gonna attempt to remove the bottom trim that's surrounding them. If I can remove them with minimum damage and I'm able to stain them, I'm gonna keep this trim off. Otherwise, I might have to put it back and then figure something out with the trim on. Or as you know, sometimes when you glue two pieces of wood together and then you try to separate them, there might be a little bit of a damage. I hope it's minimum. Let's remove the skirt and the trim at the bottom and see what we find. Slow, little taps. These are made out of pine, which is a softwood. So I'm afraid and see how many marks I'm gonna be leaving by doing this. We'll see. There's a little damage. I'm gonna have to fill these with dowels and do something with this screws because they are visible. Okay. Yep. With sort of kind of aborting the mission, I'm gonna be gluing the trim on the sides back together and screwing it back, because there are some screws that are sticking out quite a bit. My desire from the beginning was to restain them, and I feel like there's gonna be too much that is gonna be visible to the eye. So I'm just still gonna cut the front skirt, making it look a little more square, but the sides are staying in. So again, I'm gluing them and screwing them back in. It happens. Not a big deal. It doesn't take that much time to glue and screw them back, so I'm okay with it. I still think they're gonna turn out great. Okay. All right.
For the cuts, I find it easier to use the jigsaw for the 90-degree angles here on the corners. But frankly, it's easier for me to make a straight cut in the middle using a miter saw, especially because this piece is narrow and I didn't want any accidents involving my fingers because I kind of need them a lot for what I do. Once the cuts were made, I reattached the skirt. This minor detail completely changes the style to one that I hope will find a buyer much faster in my area. And why is it important to find a buyer sooner rather than later? Well, just in case you forgot or are new to the channel, any profit I make from today's makeover will be used to pay off an unexpected credit card charge I had to make after my dog had to have emergency surgery.
I'm gonna cover the holes on the corner here where those metal pieces were. I just need a little bit of it, not a lot.
While the wood filler dries, which is in half hour, let's go to the store because I'm realizing I ran out one of the two stain colors I'll be using for today's makeover. This is probably my favorite stain combination. One of them is going to be Simply White from Mingwax, which I'm out of, so that's why I'm here. And Early American from Mingwax. They're 12 bucks a can, but I'm getting the large can. Otherwise, if you were doing these for you at home, I would buy the small cans. They're half the price, $6.99 versus 12 something. The pre-stain is $7.88, so you're looking around $21 if you were to buy all the three small cans. But since I continue to use these stains for the next project and the next project, I mean, I want to save myself some money, I go ahead and buy the larger, these are 13.2 ounce cans. Because I'm also out of staining pads, I'm grabbing a pack. This is $5.99. I'm gonna need at least two of them for this project for the two different colors. So I know that most of the times you guys see me use General Finishes top coats, but here's another great option if you have a project at home. That is Varathane 3 times base. So just make sure that you use all water-based products or oil-based. You don't want to mix them unless you want to wait a long time between coats.
Okay, I'm getting ready to stain these guys, but first, it's super important that we clean the surface very, very well. For that, I'm gonna be using mineral spirits. I'm gonna give everything a quick wipe down. That's gonna ensure that my surface is squeaky clean. We're gonna start by applying a wood conditioner. That's gonna help the stain to be absorbed evenly. wait between 5 to 15 minutes before wiping off any excess. And after that, we have about 2-hour window to stain them.
50 minutes have gone by here, so I'm starting to wipe off any excess. I'm just using a clean shop paper towel.
This is a wet on wet application.
So what does wet on wet mean? It means that I'm going to use a pad applicator for a coat of antique white, covering the surface. And normally we would wipe the excess off. However, what differentiates this one from other techniques is that we apply the second stain color on top of our base. You'll notice how both colors start blending to make a soft, warm brown, a color that's pretty trendy right now. People donate solid wood pieces every single day because they don't know how valuable they can become with a lot of work. But if you're willing to learn sanding, staining, and styling, this can absolutely become a side hustle. I think it's important to mention that it took me about 10 minutes to apply the second color, and once I was done, I started wiping off the excess right away. Make sure that both the application of the stain and the direction in which you wipe off the excess follow the natural wood pattern. In this clip, you can clearly see how the stain technique took the yellow finish and turned it into a beautiful neutral tone.
Okay, friends, so normally I tell you every time that you use oil-based products like stain, you need to make sure that you use an oil-based top coat, okay? That's the general rule. However, these guys have been sitting here for about 5 days. Rule is that if your oil-based stain is completely dry, you can use a water-based top coat. Almost to the finish line. They're looking cute so far, I have to say. First, we're gonna be using this tack cloth. I usually cut a piece, and then I don't need a lot. You don't need a lot of it. And then I just give it a wipe down because since they've been sitting here for a couple of days, usually there's dust floating around, and I don't want any of it to be trapped between the stain and the top coat. So you're always making sure that your surface is very, very clean before top coating. That's always key, no matter what you're working on. Ooh, look at all that dust. Oh yeah, that's a lot.
I'm running high performance top coat from General Finishes through the filter, filling my Flexio 3500 sprayer, and I'm gonna be spraying a total of 3 coats to protect this new finish. I'm gonna be waiting 1 hour in between coats. Now, because I'm spraying over bare wood, most likely the grain is gonna start lifting and you're gonna feel a little bit of a texture, or it's gonna feel grainy. You can do a light sanding using a 320 grit between each coat. This is gonna give you a buttery smooth finish.
Gonna put some adjustable handles here, and I'll show you how to put them on. Oh, slide this part in.
Friends, we're almost done with today's project, and remember to watch until the end because I'm gonna give you a profit breakdown. With today's project, I'm bringing down my credit card balance down to 0. We did it. I'm so grateful that you've stayed with me during this debt consolidation process. And here is today's transformation. The neutral finish completely modernized them while still keeping the warmth of the wood. Let me know in the comments what do you think of today's project, and thank you so much for watching. It truly means a lot, and I'll see you guys next time.